Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you guys are. Guys, just to give you the news, so it looks like Artur Beterbiev will be fighting Anthony Yarde in January 28th. It's a good fight. I like it. I think it's a fight where I would obviously, the fight that we want to see in the light heavyweight division is Artur Beterbiev v Dmitry Bivol. I think that's the fight that people want to see, but this is a good in-between fight. Yarde, there's a lot of hype behind Yarde. There has been ever since, he's been promoted very well by Frank Warren and BT. They've done a great job with him. They've done a great job. I think with Yarde, it's either take on a tough fight and take on, a load of nobodies for majority of his career. That's how his career has gone. If you look at his career, he's gone. He fought Kovalev and got beat by Kovalev, but prior to that, he was fighting guys that were, I never even, most of those guys you've never even heard of. You have to go on BoxRec and see, their stats. And whenever you're having to do that, it's never a good sign because, someone like myself who keeps up to date with boxing, who knows a lot of fighters. If I'm having to go on BoxRec to look at someone's record to see who you're fighting is never a good look, never a good sign. And Yarde, he's literally, like I said, he's literally fighting guys that nobody's heard of, or then he's fighting, or is this going to be his second tough fight in his career where there's a good chance he'll lose this one. I just feel like there's been no build-up for Yarde. I feel like he's been involved in fights where, the Lyndon Arthur fight was a decent win, but, he should have never lost to Lyndon Arthur in the first place. The fact that he lost to him was a fairly embarrassing for him. Now, I know we went through a lot around that period. We lost, I think, his father and stuff. And, he went through a lot. He came back, put that right. But Lyndon Arthur, again, is you would say, a British level fighter. But there's not been any build-up. The fight that really the British fans wanted to see was Yarde and Buatsi. And really, that was the fight that should have been made, because that would have been a test for Yarde to see where he's at. And it would have been a test for Buatsi. I actually think that would have been a great fight. Unfortunately, it's just with Yarde career, it's either been they've got him, they've managed him very well, and they've got him opportunities like they've got him this opportunity. Now, Yarde's getting a golden opportunity fighting for 3 belts. If he is able to pull it off, for him, he's had it off. The only problem is I think his preparation has been so poor. And the fact that, his career has been, he's been involved in so many mismatches, and he's hardly been in any tough fights, bar the Kovalev one where he got beat. And maybe, who knows, if he had gone in that Kovalev fight against that version of Kovalev, who I believe was way past his best, maybe if he had more tough preparation, maybe he wins that fight. But because of his poor preparation and the fact that he was having fights where he was just walking through the guys, because most of the guys that he was fighting were just no competition to him, really. I feel like that hurt him in the Kovalev fight. And again, I think it's going to hurt him again, because if you look at it, apart from he had the Lyndon Arthur fight that went the distance, that was a pretty tough fight. Apart from that, then he blew Lyndon Arthur out in the rematch. And then after that, he's just had a load of gimme fights. His whole career's been a load of gimme fights. There's not been no acid test. Like, you know how you would say like a Sullivan Barrera or a John Pascal type of opponent? Like, where are those type of opponents for Anthony Yarde? It's either been guys that we've never heard of. If you're looking to fight someone like Artur Beterbiev, you should be beating guys like John Pascal, Sullivan Barrera, guys like that. You should be beating guys like that. But I feel like they've been so afraid to put him in with guys of that kind of caliber, because they're afraid that he may get beat against those guys. So what they're doing is they're trying to jump him into the big fights where he's probably not ready. And he might not ever be ready against those guys, because those guys are more seasoned. They've had more amateur, they've had a lot of amateur fights. They're more well schooled than Yarde. So Yarde, it doesn't matter, even if he's had hard preparation going into those fights. He would be at a disadvantage and underdog, because those guys have been doing it longer. They're more skilled. And I personally think that, again, this is going to be another rude awakening for Yarde. I think Beterbiev's really, really good. I think he's not just a puncher. People say, I mean, Yarde was saying he's slow. I mean, he's not slow whatsoever. I mean, when he puts pressure on you and he walks you down and then he hits you with huge shots. I mean, Yarde's tough. I'll give Yarde that. Yarde's got a good chin and he is tough. But the constant pressure of Beterbiev will be too much for me. You know, if Kovalev's not really a pressure fighter. Kovalev was boxing with Yarde and he was really beating Yarde to a jab. And at that point in his career, Kovalev had become very conservative. He wasn't a guy that would go in like the Crusher was early on in his career, where he would really go for you and look to wipe you out. Kovalev had changed his style a little bit. He'd become very conservative, especially after he had been stopped. He had become very conservative as a fighter. And I feel like he was just looking to box. Even when he fought Canelo, he was just looking to box. He wasn't really that old Kovalev, the Crusher, and probably because his confidence has been dented after the Ward fight and the Alvarez fight. You know, he had a lot of confidence taken away from him. But for me, I just think that Beterbiev's a different beast. Beterbiev right now Beterbiev is in the peak of his powers, right? And Beterbiev is a pressure fighter. Yarde, with all that, with the body he's got, with the muscles, guys like that down the stretch, we've seen it with AJ. His stamina is not the greatest, and Beterbiev's got a horrible style to get. He's basically got a style that would gas you out because he just walks you down. He tires you, hits you with heavy shots. Every shot hurts. He basically saps your energy, and then eventually you basically submit because you just don't have anything left. That's what he did to Marcus Brown, and I personally think Marcus Brown is a better boxer than Anthony Yarde, and he basically effectively made Marcus Brown quit because Marcus Brown just didn't have anything left. Not quit in the sense that he didn't have the heart. He just didn't have anything left because Beterbiev has sapped all the energy out of him. And I think he'd do this. I think if Kovalev basically sapped the energy out of Yarde and Yarde had nothing left, I mean, this guy's style is tailor-made to basically sap your energy and wear you down and then take you out. That's what Beterbiev does. That's what Beterbiev specializes in. So I can't see Yarde winning this fight. I can't see Yarde being able to avoid a knockout in this fight. I think unless Yarde catches him with something and hurts him, which is a possibility. We have seen Beterbiev hurt, so who knows? Maybe Yarde might be able to catch Beterbiev with something, stun him, and then take him out. But otherwise, I can't see this being a fight where Yarde wins. Unfortunately, I just think Beterbiev is the better fighter. I think Beterbiev is more skilled, and I think Beterbiev will beat Yarde. Unfortunately for Yarde. I think the fight that should have been made for British fight fans is probably Yarde and Buatsi. I think that would have been a more competitive fight. I think that would have been a more fan-friendly fight and a big fight here for the UK fans, because both guys, I feel, are about the same level. So it would have been a great tester to see, who's able to go and fight for a world title. But instead, we're getting fights where if Yarde was to win, it'd be a massive upset because, Beterbiev is a huge favorite going into that fight. And if Yarde was able to pull it off, it would be a massive upset. But I can't see it. I just don't think Yarde has had the preparation to beat someone like Artur Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev he's still got a lot left. I will say this though, Beterbiev is 37 years of age and he has recently got injured. And who knows, maybe Yarde might catch him at the right time where Beterbiev breaks down and, because he is 37. I mean, Beterbiev not a spring chicken. He is, I wouldn't say his professional career to this point has been very tough. I mean, his fights have been relatively pretty comfortable for him. But like I said, sometimes at that age, injury can catch up. And who knows, maybe Yarde might be getting him at the right time. If Yarde was to pull it off, then Yarde, potentially has an undisputed fight with Dimitri Bivol. You'd probably have to think that makes it even easier for Dimitri Bivol to become an undisputed champion. But like I said, I'm very interested in this fight. I want to see what Yarde can come up with. Can Yarde go one better than what he did last time against Kovalev, or is this going to be another one of those fights where Yarde gets beat once again. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to know your opinion. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.